Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm sitting down with Debbie Cort of Cort Real Estate Professionals and Denny Fraser. And Debbie has been bringing in a line of respected professionals in the community that really play a role in the real estate purchase and closing. So Debbie, tell us today who we have to talk to.
Well, thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
You know, if you're on the buying side or the selling side of a real estate transaction, in South Carolina, you must have a real estate attorney. So we invited Mr. Denny Fraser to join us today. He is with the Fraser Law Firm, which is located here on Hilton Head.
Well, thank you for coming. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You haven't always been a real estate attorney.
No,
you haven't always been an attorney.
I haven't always been an attorney. I mean, you can tell by looking at me, I've got a past. And, my wife Debbie and I have a Debbie in my life and all around my life. We moved here in 1973 with a huge construction company, one of the biggest, to build a project here. I won't name it, but it was a very good one. And we left that and we formed the smallest business on earth. I was a contractor. I did remodeling, repairs, general contracting, and later got in the supply business. And in the late-ish 90s, I decided I wanted to go to law school, so I applied. I got in, went through that process, and went off to law school, had a ball doing that. And I came back here, so I got a little pattern going here. I came back here in 2000, and I joined with another local attorney, and we built a very nice, larger firm for this area. And after 16 years in that practice, I decided to move into a solo direction, and now again I'm in the smallest business on Hilton Head and really love it. I'm working with my other Debbie all the time now. She works in our office and we have a great paralegal there.
Got a
who's
great
with us.
team.
And we do a lot of real estate work. We do the regular other lawyer stuff too. We do litigation and business law mostly. No divorce law, no criminal law.
So
but we like real estate.
what role does an attorney play in the real estate process?
Well, I tell you what, it's kind of fun in a way because I thought early on it was just paperwork. But what it tends out to be is we have to review the title work to make sure there are no flaws in the title. And by law, we have to sit in on and preside over a closing because the Supreme Court makes it that you have to have an attorney and the attorney has to be there with you. So that's the other end of that. But Debbie always comes to her closings. That's really helpful. But I tell you what, other than that, there's a whole smorgasbord of down in the trenches, getting repairs done, getting little issues worked out. The overall fun of real estate is all of us, the real estate professionals on both sides of the transaction, buyer, seller, and the attorneys and the lenders, we're all really trying to get to the same place.
Yes.
And so that's sort of fun. Litigation's different. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose.
Oh.
But this is sort of a process of deal making, not deal breaking. And it's fun. It's fun working with people like Debbie and her team. You wouldn't believe how hard they work. And then they bring us in and we have fun working with real pros.
And how have the new lending laws affect any of the work that you're doing on behalf of buyers and sellers?
Well, you know the old statement that I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And it all came out of the Dodd-Frank regulations dealing with the crash of '08 and all of that. And we were very much concerned about them. They took place in October of this past year. A lot more of the work is shifted to the bankers. And the timetable has been extended from anything like 3 days in a rush job to a minimum of 45 days is what we're seeing now to get a closing through. But the system is working fairly well. The thing that we used to call a HUD, which is a settlement statement, that was 2 pages, everybody's seen one, is now about 10 pages.
Oh.
And it's a little more complicated, but the bank requires the lender to have it in their hands, or the borrower to have it in their hands 3 days ahead of time. So when we do a closing, we don't have any last minute settlement statements.
Oh,
they come in ahead of time.
You
The
don't want
people have
those.
already reviewed them and complained about every little number on there. So everything's cool when they come in. Closings are so it's better in some ways, longer in others.
Well, Debbie, thank you so much for bringing in these professionals because this is all important information. Quickly, how are you helping your clients and your buyers and sellers find these experts in the field?
Well, if a client doesn't already have an established relationship with an attorney, we'll make recommendations. And we encourage them to give them a call, ask questions, just kind of feel out the rapport with the attorney and his staff. And you really want to make sure that you feel like they have the your best interests
Right.
at heart. So we want you to be comfortable. So we'll make recommendations, but ultimately it's the client's final decision.
Well, thank you so much, both of you, for coming in. That wraps up this Talk of the Town. Have a great week.